Hi everyone! Today we are going to be learning how to draw an optical illusion. So we are going to start by drawing a circle in the middle of our paper. Once you get good at this, you can do more than one circle, try 2 or 3. And once you have your circle drawn, you're going to need to grab a ruler. We are going to use this ruler to make a grid along the back or behind around our circle on our paper. So I'm going to measure every inch going down both sides of my paper and make these 1 inch by 1 inch squares of my grid. So I'm marking every inch on the right side of my paper, and then I'll mark every inch on the left side of my paper and use my ruler to connect those across to start the horizontal lines of my grid. When I get to my circle, I'm going to make sure that I skip where it would go like across the circle. So once it touches the edges of the circle, I'm going to pick my pen up and skip over the circle. So it looks like the lines are going behind the circle rather than through the circle. And I'll repeat this all the way down my paper, and then I will measure across the top and bottom of my paper every inch to draw my vertical lines of the grid. So I end up with a checkerboard look at the end. So this is where I'm going to measure every inch across the top and then every inch across the bottom. And then just the same as I did my horizontal lines, the lines that go across my paper side to side, I'm going to connect these markings with vertical lines, lines that go up and down my paper. Again, being sure that when I get to a point where it might go through the circle, instead of going through, I skip over the circle so it appears that the lines go behind the circle. So I'm skipping over and then continuing my line down. No need to pick your ruler up when you skip. Just know that when you touch the lines of the circle, that is your cue to pick up your pen, pencil, marker, whatever it is you're using. So once I have my grid drawn, my next step is that I am going to color every other box in. So the way I like to do this just to keep track is I do just quick little marks inside every other box, just like a checkerboard all the way down my paper. This helps me keep track of where I need to color, and then I'll go back and color that in completely with my black marker, like this. Making sure that you do those little corners that are poking out from behind the circle. My next step is to make this circle appear to bubble out. So I'm going to connect one line of my grid with the other line that would have passed through it, but making sure to contour or curve my line with the shape of the circle. So notice I start at one line of the grid, connect it to the other line, but I do so with a curved line. I like to make these lines a little bit thicker than my grid lines in the back, just to make it appear like it is coming forward. Connecting from one side of my circle to the other with the grid lines, and then doing the same thing to curve the other way. Making sure that those lines that I just drew, the ones in the center, really bubble out. This makes it look like it's like a sphere poking through the paper. So I'm doing that with vertical lines and then going side to side, connecting horizontal lines, just choosing, again, one of the grid lines to connect to its partner on the other side. You can use a ruler to help you keep track of this, but really it's not necessary. The key is to make sure you really curve or contour with the sphere or the ball. So now I'm going to color, just like I did my grid in the background, every other square in my ball or sphere, the 3D shape that we're creating here. to make the grid pattern look like it's being pushed out or bubbled forward. So I'm making little markings in every other square so I can keep track of where I need to color. And then I'll go in with my marker and color those solid just like I did the background. So now that I have all of my grids colored in, I can go back and just make sure everything's outlined nicely, filled pretty solidly. And I have created this 3D optical illusion, which makes the paper look like it's bubbling forward. And I'm pretty proud of this drawing. So I hope you guys enjoy this and that you give it a shot.